Hello everyone. So far we have learned the looping statement, looping constraints that we can use in Python application. Uh, uh, in Python, there are two loops that we can use in application. One is while and second one is the for loop. Now think about it. We can execute the loops 10 times, 20 times, 30 times, 100 times. So as per our requirement, we can execute the loops, and within that loop, the statement will execute that number of times. But there is a situation in which I want to stop the execution of this loop on certain condition. Okay, so how can we do that? So for that, Python provides a keyword that is called the break. So by using break statement in your loop, you can stop the execution of loop on a certain condition. Okay, so suppose your loop is executing 20 times, so all the statement will execute 20 times, fine. Now on a certain condition, if I get some value and I don't want to further execute the statement, so in that situation I will write the break statement in our application. So this is one scenario that can be occur in your application. Another scenario, another situation that can be come into your application, that is you have certain statements, fine. But what if I don't want to execute some statement and I don't want to execute whole statement on a particular condition? Okay, just skip this execution of these statements on a certain condition, but don't stop the loop. So for that, we can use the continue statement. Continue, what the continue does, continue perform the operation means on a certain condition, it will skip the execution of the statement that is just below of this continuous statement, and it will move to the next iteration of the loop. Okay, so this is the use of the continuous statement. And pass, so what is the use of pass? A pass statement is used when there is a situation in which you have to write uh, some piece of the code that can be implemented in the future, but syntactically that is required in your application. So pass is used in that condition. So let's see with the example and uh, with the code that how to use the break, continue, and pass statement in application. So before going to the coding part and before continuing this tutorial, I just want to mention one more thing that is very important to understand, and you need to remember every time. That is break and continue. These two keywords or these two statements will always use in loops. We cannot use these statements without loops. Okay, pass can be used in any anywhere in your application. Okay, so break and continue is the part of your loops. So let's see what is break. So break statement is in Python uses only within the loops. Fine. The break statement is stop the current iteration of the loop and exit from the current loop. So it will stop the execution of the loop, but which loop? Why I'm asking this one? Because we can create loops within loops. Fine. Means we can create the nested loop. And suppose we are using the break statement in the nested loop, so it will stop the execution of the nested loop, not of the outer loop. Okay, why? Because the break statement stops only that loop in which the break statement is in use. Okay, so remember this point also. So let's do a coding for I in. I'm generating one range from 1 to 10. Okay, and 1 to 10, so that should be endpoint 11, and the condition is first I'll print all the values. Okay, and here I'm printing one statement outside of this loop that called the end of program, that says that it is end of program statement. Execute this one. So as you can see, we are getting all the values 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, and after that we are getting end of program. Now the condition is, the situation is, if we get i's value as 4. Okay, so the execution of this loop should stop. So we can write like, if I is equal to 4, then don't execute this loop, just stop this one. Okay, so execute this one. So as you can see, I is equal to 1, 2, 3, but as I becomes 4, then it execute the break statement. And after this statement, since this statement is inside this for loop, so it will stop the execution of this for loop and it will come out from the loop's body. And after that, I have one statement, that is end of program. Okay, so it will execute this one and it will stop the program's execution. One more thing I want to show you, that is the semicolon. Semicolon is optional in Python, so you can use semicolon. It is not syntactic, means it is not error in Python's program. Sometime what happened, we see that semicolon is available in Python code, and we say that this is the error. So it is not error. You can use the semicolon in the statements also. So if I write the semicolon after this print statement, so it is also fine. Okay, now let's use the break statement in the nested loop also. So generate the value from 1 to 5, and another nested loop is for j in range that is 1 to 5 also, and make, and after that I say that if I is equal to 4, then break the loop. So which loop will be break? Let's see. Print inside, I'm writing inside inner loop. So it will execute the inside inner loop. And if I will become 4, then let's change the condition. If I is equal to 3, then break break the loop and come out from this loop. And after this loop, I'm writing one more statement, that is, this is outer loop. Okay, and to understand that on which value it is printing the inside inner loop, I'll write one more statement, that is, I is equal comma I, this one, colon. Okay, so let's see the output first. I is equal to 1, so inside inner loop is executing, and this is outer loop because this loop will stop the execution. After that, it will come out from this loop after the execution. This is the outer loop. I is equal to 2, inside the inner loop it will execute the rest of the statement. But when I is equal to 3, you can see it is not printing the inside inner loop, but as this statement execute, it will break the execution of the current loop, that is inner loop, and it will come out from this statement and it will print this is outer loop. As you can see here, just look at this, this is the outer loop. Okay, and this one, and as the I becomes 4, so this condition gets false, so again it will execute for I4 inside the inner loop, and as this loop stops the execution, it will execute this is outer loop. And after that, since this has been exhausted, so it will go and print end of program. So I hope this is clear to all of you, that the break statement will stop the execution of the current loop. Okay, if you are using a break in this loop, so it will stop the execution of this loop. So for example, if I write like, if I is equal 3, okay, so break this. We have two condition. If I is equal to 3, then break this loop. If I is equal to 3, then break this loop. Let's see. For I is equal to 1, fine. Okay. So this is the outer loop printing. If I is equal to 2, so inside the loop, and it is printing, this is outer loop. But as I becomes 3, just look at here, I becomes 3, so it will stop the execution of inner loop, as well as I'm checking the condition I is equal to 3, so it will break the outer loop also. So it will come out from the outer loop and it will execute the rest of the statement of your application. Okay, so this is the use of break statement. Few things that you need to remember, that is the break statement must be used within the loops. Loop can be your while or for, so it doesn't matter. And the break statement, as the break statement occur, your loop will stop the execution. Uh, some students always ask that it is mandatory that we will use the break statement for using if statement. So it is not mandatory. Actually, the break statement should be inside the loop, but on which condition you want to stop, in that case you need to use the if you are not using if, so what will happen, just look at here. I'm writing print I am inside the loop. Okay, inside the loop. And if I use the break here, just look at this and execute this one. So and now you can see it is printing I am inside the loop, but without any condition I'm using break. So it will stop the execution of this loop at very first time, and it will not execute this out. This is the outer loop statement. So there must be a situation in which you want to stop the execution of the loop. That's why we use the break statements. The scenario in which we can use the break statement, for example, you have bunch of values and you are performing searching operation. Okay, so in that case, for example, I have a list, that is my list, that have some value that can be, I'm taking some random number, 23, 24, 45, 46, that is 1 and 2 and 78. These are the values in my list, and this value can be that can be come from any source, means the database. So you want to perform the searching. So I ask the user, that is n, and I'm taking one input from the user, enter number to search. Okay, this is the statement. So user will provide a number that you want to search, and I will write a code that will fetch all the element that is inside my list, and I will write a condition if I is equal to n, means the value you have fetched in the current execution, that is equal to n, then I can print like value is found. Okay, this is. Now understand the scenario first of all. Okay, suppose user input 23 to search. So just look at here. In this case, the 23 will be found at very first position, means at the very first element. So in this case, is it right way to execute the for loop for the rest of the statement? No, it will stop. It should stop the execution of this loop. Okay, so value is found print, but just look at here. Enter the number to search. So I am searching the 23. Fine, value is found, but it will fetch rest of the element also. If you want to see, then I can print the rest of the element also to see here, I. So if I is equal to n, then print value is found and print the elements also, just to show you. That is 23, just look at here. Value is found, that is 23, but it is executing the loop for the rest of the element also. So this is not a right way to code. Why? Because if you have, suppose, 1,000 and more than 1,000 elements, so it will execute 1,000 times. Okay. So what should we write? If I get the desired search element, then it should execute the loop. It should not further continue. Okay. Just look at the output. I want to search the element that is 23. So value is found. So it will stop the execution and it will execute the rest of the part of your application. So actually this is very handy in a situation in which you want to stop the execution. So when you do the competitive exams and there for example you are using some online testing in which you get some code to write and execute in a certain time duration, and if you do not use the break statement on a certain condition, it will raise some time constraint error, means time is exceeding. So why? Because after performing some operation we do not stop the execute. That's why we get the time constraint error, time limit error. Okay. So in that case you can use the break statement that will save the time of execution of your application. So I hope this break statement is clear to all of you. Another situation is the value that I want to search can be at the right position. So no problem, it will execute the code as per the requirement. So 78. So just look at here, it will execute all the loop and value is found and end of the program. Now I'm just writing one more logic here to brief you. Suppose that value is not available. So one more statement should be there, that is print value is not found. So in which condition else will execute? Else will execute if all the element is fed and your sequence is exhausted. So in this case, if break is occur in your loop, so else will not execute. We have already learned in the looping constraint. So execute this one. And if I want to search 23, just look at here, then you can see that value is found and else is not executing because we are executing the break statement. One more time, I will execute and I want to search the 10. So loop exhausted and I didn't find the element that I want to search. So in that case, it will print value is not found. So this is one way that you can write your code. So I hope this one is clear. The break statement is clear to all of you. Come to this part. Now, after that, we will learn the continuous statement. So continuous statement I will discuss in the next video tutorial. So thank you for watching this video. Please comment your views, your inputs. That is helpful to make the video interactive. And if you haven't subscribed this channel, then please subscribe and press the bell icon to get the notification of the latest videos. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.